for as much international expansion to Europe we've been talking about, I realized I wasn't really covering some US and Europe problems. Only really the US problems. So I wanted to come out a little bit, take a couple steps back and look at the global scale a little bit more. A lot of US sellers are going to look to export over into the EU in 2025 and beyond. So let's start with the US market, looking at Target. So Target is changing a little bit of its strategy here. It's investing a little bit more in food distribution centers. We're interested to see how this plays out. For years and years, Target has more been your premium type of store. I think the joke my wife always makes is it's Walmart for people that don't want to be seen at Walmart. So it's interesting to see them break in the food. I've seen a lot of push from Target.com to try to steal some of the market share that Walmart.com has and Amazon.com has. And I think this push into doing more food is going to be interesting to see what brands they're going to onboard in. So this one's behind a paywall, so it's a little frustrating, but I'll go ahead and give off a summary. So with the potential of another ban happening in the U.S., which I think at this point I'm personally not too scared of this. Regardless, you're going to see quite a bit of brands try new things. And one of the new things that has been going on is TikTok is opening up TikTok Shop in Mexico. So a couple notes on this, because we're a TikTok Shop service provider, so I'm going to be able to explain this in a little bit more detail. Every time you're going to sell in a country, you have to have a new organic profile. So you could have Jose's Tacos. That's your TikTok profile, but you could open in the U.S. So you now need to have someone in Mexico open up a Jose's Tacos Mexico. Now you can get a person of origin in that country, whether that's U.S., Mexico, etc., to help you open up a business entity, pass the verification, and create up a TikTok shop in that marketplace. And then you can link each one of your organic to one TikTok shop. So though your LLC could have 4 TikTok shops, each TikTok shop is only going to be connected to one organic profile. So brands that really want to scale in the social commerce age are creating UGC. And doing this in multiple languages are going to help you sell better in Amazon Mexico through TikTok Mexico. Same thing with Amazon Ireland that's opening up, TikTok Spain. It's a lot of emergence here. We talked about how Walmart was still quite small in their Ecom game. Walmart just continues to try to make it easier to compete with Amazon on the same day, next day, 2-day shipping. It's still hard for you that's been a brick and mortar retailer for so long to be able to compete with the brilliance that Amazon's had. But I'm interested to see how this is there. We'll link all of these below. So now moving over into a little bit of EU news that is really interesting. So if you're not familiar, say you live in the States and you're really not in on everything. So the U.S. Has trade agreements with Mexico and with Canada, but there's no official unified currency or things of that matter. Well, for most of the European countries, with the UK leaving this at one point, they have what's called the European Union. They have the ability to pass borders very easily, both with people and also with product. But you get a large governing body that has a lot of regulations. And so there's a fashion retailer that's huge over there that is starting to come under a little bit of scrutiny, and we're interested to see how that affects things. I've never sold on this marketplace. Interested to see for those fashion brands what happens if they're going to be treated like an Amazon, AliExpress, or if they're going to be treated separately. So if you're a U.S. seller that's liking this unto Teen and Shimu trying to compete against Amazon, they were competing with completely different rules. And then the U.S., obviously, like we covered, changed the laws about importing sub $800 shipments from China. Interested to see what happens. I've gotten pitched a significant amount of AI everything. AI user-generated content, AI text, AI video creation. And I'm not sure how this one will play out, but one particular company tried it, and it's been working well. So the theory is most consumers cannot tell the difference between user-generated content that was created by a computer or user-generated content that was created by a user. The downside with this AI UGC is you're probably going to post it mostly on your profile, so it might act as an ad for you, but it's going to be hard to do an affiliate unless you have a AI bot create a profile and get engagement, which I have seen before. It's a little dystopian. But really interested to see. I'm going to do a little bit of testing with this next month or so and see how that looks. Another EU piece of news. So the EU has what's called the Digital Markets Act, and the U.S. is trying to claim that it hurts Americans and that it's scrutinizing this U.S. companies. And there's basically just a bicker back and forth on how tech should be regulated for U.S. companies in the EU. I'll link this below because it's a little heavier than just this, but it's recent. I wanted to bring it up. Another paywall, a little frustrating. So there's always going to be VC, so venture capital money moving back and forth, angel investors investing in things. But this particular one, it's just a small one. We'll cover it for about 10 seconds. A Series B, so typically it's the second or third time a company's raised, normally second. E-commerce logistics startup called Swap. It's using AI to help themselves. It's trying to be a platform for D2C Ecom brands to do cross-border shipping, returns. It's the same, in my opinion, as everything else, but they raised $40 million, so they're obviously doing something right. I hear rumblings all the time of companies getting acquired in the e-com space. Typically what happens is the acquirer comes in, increases their margin, worse product, but that's not always the case.